very special screening for all the normal reasons, but this is the very last film that is in competition. They've been rolling out for the last 4 days. This is the very last one, which means this filmmaker really has to like suffer through all the excitement of everybody else coming here first. So this is it, and I'm pleased and proud of him for forging that storm. He brought a lot of wonderful people with him to help him, and I'm going to bring him up right now. And that is Jason Orley. Woo!
Thank you. Hey. So I'm just going to tell a quick little story. So about a week and a half into shooting the movie, on a particularly long, grueling day when everyone's exhausted, and I was pulling my hair out, worried how we were going to get through the day, our lead actor, Pete, who's here, and he's also my producer, came up to me, and he was really excited. He goes, "Yo, Jay, I think this movie's going to be really good." And it was like it had just occurred to him in that moment. I was like, how can you say that when we just started shooting? And he goes, "Yeah, but look around the crew. Everybody's miserable." He's like, "They're stressed out, they're panicked. It's fantastic." He's like, "I've been on big budget movie sets. Everyone's comfortable. They're well fed. They're happy. Movies are terrible. This one," I was like, "Well, you know, I wouldn't say everybody's miserable." He's like, "No, they're miserable." Like, we had to push lunch twice, they're hungry, everybody hates you, this movie's gonna be sick. Well, so I really hope Pete's theory turns out to be true. But what he was really right about is that when you're making an independent film, it really is a marathon and a sprint at the same time. And as a director, especially a first-time director, you really just have to like hope and pray that the crew and cast you're with is as passionate about this little story you came up with years ago the same way you are. And I got so lucky. The reason I'm up here is because I had that crew, and I had that cast. So I just want to thank them really quickly. Thank you to the amazing cast, the crew, the cast. You're going to meet them all after the screening, and they're incredible. And to my producers, and especially thank you to American High and LD Entertainment, who found this script. I had made my peace with the fact that I was never going to get to tell this story because I had written it so long ago. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's great, but yeah, we don't think we can make it." And then these guys found me, and they found the script, and they trusted me, which is crazy. And they let me direct it, and now I can stand up here and show it to all of you, and with my crew, who's all here, and they're not miserable anymore because we're at Sundance, and that's awesome. So thank you. And lastly, thank you to my parents who are also here, who haven't seen this movie yet. I love you so much.
Please welcome back writer-director Jason Orley. Stop. Welcome them up.
All right, so just bring them up. All right, so hey guys, I'd like to welcome my incredible cast up to the stage. First, Pete Davidson, where are you? Sweeney, come on, all right. Sydney. Thomas Barbuska. And Jon Cryer.
Awesome. So before we open up the audience for questions, Jason, you mentioned that the script was written a long time ago. Do you just want to kind of share the story of the origins of this wonderful script?
Sure, yeah. So this script was really the first feature script I've ever written. It was something that I always knew I wanted to tell. It was like, you know, when you get to film school, I went to NYU, and on the first day they said, like, you're here because you have at least one story that you know you really need to tell. And I was pretty sure it was this one. And as soon as I graduated, this is the first, I grew up with older brothers and older friends, and and I've always been drawn to this kind of character, and as soon as I kind of honed in on the idea of like the cool older guy, and you know, I was taking one kid and showing his whole arc from idolizing someone to being their best friend to outgrowing them was something that really excited me, and so that's how this came to be. And yeah, I wrote it about 5 or 6 years ago.
Awesome. Yeah. Cass, you're leaving Jay. He seems to look so lonely up here. You guys can
Come on,
before the stage. This is a Lex Luthor question about Supergirl. Do you have anything to share, John?
There's nothing I can contractually share, sadly. Oh gosh, thank you. My theater training is coming in handy there. Wait, is this working?
No.
No. There's nothing I can contractually share. The strict codes of confidentiality. That being said, I just started shooting a week and a half ago. It's going great. There we go.
It's going great. I'm bald AF. It's all gone, and it's been an incredible pleasure already. There's already a bunch of stuff I'm super excited about people seeing. And thank you for asking about that. But I have to say, this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I fucking loved it. So I'd rather talk about that. You see, the reason I took this role was because, but no, so I'm where you all are now. You know, I just I read this wonderful script and was just hoping that Jason could make the thing that he clearly saw, and I'm just grateful to have been a part of it. So.
Cool.
This movie was so clever and well written and enjoyable to watch, so
Thank you.
I wanted to ask, while you were writing it and filming it, how did you make sure that it turned out inspiring and positive and motivational to young people rather than encouraging them to, you don't want to make not necessarily another movie where kids drink and have sex and like do all the things, but you did it in a way that it wasn't that, so how did you do that?
The question is about the positive message.
The very positive message of this film. Honestly, I just wanted to make sure that I was being like authentic to kids and honest more than anything else, which is why it was really important to me that we cast actual awesome teenagers in those roles, so that they could bring their own life and experiences to this. So that was like the main drive of this, was to make sure that we were being honest. And yeah, as far as the positive message goes, I think this is why I really fought for the ending of this movie, which is that he it doesn't really work out. It was really important to me that he doesn't get the girl at the end. Neither of them do, and and he realized that this isn't the path he wants to be on. So I hope that is a positive, sad message, because you love their friendship. He learns, we learn, kids will learn. Hopefully. Yeah, thank you. All right.
We have a balcony question. Oh, all the way up there.
It's not really a question, but Pete, I know you've been going through a lot, man. Thanks for coming, and I hope everything's going okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice of you. I will now go back to staring at the floor.
I have a question. Hey, for Pete, how'd you become a producer on the project?
You? I'm sorry. Jason just hit me up. He was like, he's very cool, and the reason why I think it works so much is he's like, we could do this together. And we brought Coulson in and Jordan, who was great in the film. So it was like I got a little producer credit.
It was. I'm gonna add to that real quick.
Yeah.
It was very clear from the beginning that Pete, from our first meeting, that Pete was going to be a bigger role in this project than just acting in it. He brought so much to the character that was not in the script. Honestly, I had imagined my Zeke's growing up, and we talked a lot about who those kids were for him growing up in Staten Island, who they were for me growing up in the Midwest, in the suburbs, and honestly, what we realized was this kind of experience was universal to both of us, even though it looked differently to both of us. And so he played it the way that was authentic to him. And that comes down to the clothing, the car, the apartment. That really, Pete very much created Zeke, and he helped round out the cast with people that he had great chemistry with, and he knew that he would have great chemistry with. So yeah, it was clear from the start that he was going to be a producer.
Oh, thanks. I don't know what that dude's doing. He's still sitting on the floor in the parking lot.
Okay. The question was for Griffin and Pete about preparing and kind of hitting the chemistry.
Take it, Griff.
I don't think we really prepared. I mean, I met you at the table read, and we kind of instantly clicked, and then we did lots of shenanigans, and you brought me on adventures, and
I mean, like, it was cool because, like, he was about to turn 18, and it was the state we were in. I checked. All the stuff we did was totally cool. I asked his mom. I asked his mom. His mom's out there. Katie's out there. Right? Yeah. They took very good care of your boy. So did Coulson. We took very good care of him. I know it looks like we didn't because we didn't. Well, like, he's here, okay? So, yes.
The movie very much came to life on set in a way you can only imagine. And the truth is that, like, when you're making a small independent movie, you don't have any time to really rehearse, you know? And so you just pray that, like, your actors are gonna show up and have the kind of chemistry that they need to have. And that was very much the case here. We had the first table read, and these two guys sat down, and it was Mo and Zeke, and I didn't even need to do it. One of my producers pulled me aside and said, dude, the rest of the movie, just stay out of its way. You know, just let them do that. And that's what I tried to do, was like let them play and be themselves and like have the great relationship that they really developed in real life.
Yeah, he's like the coolest 18-year-old ever in real life. He's a very cool kid, that guy. That kid. So, yeah.
I saw you in American Vandal, which was a show I really enjoyed, on Netflix.
And all those it kids are fucking cocky as fuck, so we were like, fuck them. Look at that and say, it's wild, okay?
You know, it's funny, when I met him and he auditioned, I was worried he was too cool. I was worried, like, this character's more of an outsider, he's awkward, that's not Griffin. Griffin has, like, so much swagger. Whatever, being honest. And as soon as, but he was such a good actor that I said, all right, well, just, you know, maybe that's who Mo is. But the truth is that he brought.
I like how you were like, I was looking at him. It's a beautiful boy. I was picturing you looking at pictures of him.
I'm just in a room.
Well, I think I can make it work.
Anyway, he ended up being able to play that innocent, naive character very well. And I was relieved. This is going to be a Pete stand-up show in about 5 seconds.
What? What happened? Want to do 5? Oh, no. Please, no. It's never worked.
Who else has a question?
Balcony? Sure. And then you guys.
Well, when you grow up, become highly successful, start your own company, are you going to hire Pete to come work with you?
I mean, yeah, I don't think he will work for me. I mean, I think he's above that.
You're talking about the character?
Talking about the character.
Like, no, because that makes, because I know it was a bad answer, but that's a weird question. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not us. Like, give us good, like, in this weird world that doesn't exist, that you don't really care about because you did it 6 months ago. Would you fucking know? Any non-dumb questions? I'm tripping balls. I don't want to get out of here. I'm just kidding.
We have time. 2 more questions?
I'm kidding. I'll say all that.
Yes.
Interacting with the girls, and so I want to know, is there a message there First of all, great question. I think, you know, it is. I think that I'm not a man, so I don't know what happens exactly. But I think that if there's reality to the way guys are talking to each other, why wouldn't, as a teenage girl, you want to be privy to how you're being spoken about in private? Right?
Yeah.
I'm staying the fuck away from this question. You could call me. Where's that low guy? Get that guy back. That question, I take it back, sir. Your question rule. Fucking scaring the shit out of all the guys up here. Freaking us out. Yes, we have respect for women, okay? Yeah. Jesus. There you go.
Cindy?
I'm scared to talk now.
The jacket's
I think
fire.
it's important for girls to be aware of what's being said about them and what kind of men they're with and who they're around. Yeah, so no Zeke.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah. I thought that was obvious. Yeah.
One more question right here.
I thought this had a very kind of modern day John Hughes sort of feel to it, which was really cool. I kind of wanted to find out if you have a lot of that influence into it, and also maybe how John feels about that being from that kind of world.
The question is about the influences.
Yeah, something I said a lot was John Hughes, like behind a cloud of weed smoke. Like dirtier, and but yes, those are movies that I grew up loving. You know, like there's a lot of Ferris Bueller in Zeke, and there's a lot of risky business in this movie. Like those are the movies I grew up loving, and that's why having John in this film was so exciting and awesome. And there's a lot of like allusions to those movies, like the museums and the shower scenes and the high school movies that I loved. So go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the things that I loved about John Hughes' writing was he let teenagers speak for themselves, you know, and often they were, in John Hughes movies, way more articulate than, they articulated it almost clearer than, it was what you were thinking as a teenager, but not necessarily what was coming out of your mouth. And I thought what Jason really nailed was what was coming out of your mouth, at least coming out of my mouth at the time. You know, I think he just, John Hughes he almost worshipped teenagers. He really, that time in your life and how things changed for you over that time was something that was incredibly important to him. And of course, later in his career, he worshipped how 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds took care of themselves alone when they're in their house and burglars are attacking. But at his best, John Hughes really got teenagers, and I thought Jason did an amazing job, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Let's give a final round of applause to the team behind Big Time Adolescence.